Hey, Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of Yashala. Call Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Harakakadash for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwathium that's keeping the faith in the works. Y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts, man. More precepts. This the book of Psalms, chapter 36. Or this the book of Psalm, chapter 36 and verse, I'm gonna start at 1. It says, the transgression of the wicked saith within my heart that there is no fear of God before his eyes. Right? The wicked don't fear God. According to scripture, fearing the Most High is keeping his commandments and having the knowledge of his omnipotency. Right? It says, for he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. Now, in his own mind, this wicked individual thinks that he's smart, right? He relies on his science to back up everything he's saying, everything that he says, right? The different moves that he makes. He places himself atop of the world as though he's the top individual on this planet when in actuality he's not. How can you be the top individual on this planet when you come from another people? Right? Let's get that straight. First and foremost, you were taught how to be civil, right? You were taught not to be sleeping in the same quarters as your animals, right? That's why a lot of them today still smell like the animals because they haven't learned that lesson. A lot of them today, they still sleep with their animals, right? Verse, let me see. Verse 3 says, the words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. Right? This devil, right, thinks of various ways of messing up the people on the earth. More precisely, Israel, so-called blacks, so-called Native Americans, and so-called Hispanics, all of so-called Negro descent. Right? It says, he setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. Right? So with that being said, man, check this video out, right, that my beautiful wife hit me on to. Right? Watch this, man. Euthanasia coaster. Now, hold up. We're going to come back to this. Euthanasia. Let's see what that means. All right, euthanasia. Euthanasia, the act or practice of killing or permitting the death of hopelessly sick or injured individuals, such as persons or domestic animals. I want you to remember that. Such as persons or domestic animals in a relatively painless way for reasons of mercy. Right? So, sick people or injured individuals, such as persons or domestic animals.
From Lithuania, and this piece is called Euthanasia Coaster. It's a euthanasia machine in the form of roller coaster, engineered to humanely with euphoria and pleasure kill a human being. It features a series of various pleasurable and thrilling experiences like G-forces produced by certain elements of a roller coaster. But death here occurs due to extreme G-forces produced by certain elements of a roller coaster. The coaster features two key parts. One is a drop tower, and another part is a series of loop elements. You are towed up to the top of a drop tower. You fall down 500 meters to achieve such a kinetic energy to ride all through the loops.
That's a lot. I forgot to say, fair use act, man. I'm not using this video for any profit. This is strictly for educational purposes.
To be exposed for 1 minute under 10 G force. Your blood is rushed towards lower extremities, so there is lack of blood in your brain. So your brain starts to suffocate. And when it starts to suffocate, usually people become euphoric because brain concentrates on the very vital.
Now, there's gonna be certain segments in this video, like that picture screen you just saw. Right? They literally got this thing set up like it's a piece of art, man. Like they got the person dying in the picture frame as though they're walking through a museum. And look at listen to how this man explains a death machine. Look at his face, look at his eyes, man. Look at the zero remorse or any kind of feeling attached to what this man is speaking on. This is a literal death machine.
Bodily activities. And it's not a fiction. Pilots usually are trained in human centrifuges to experience that. And you can see in a video they faint. It's so-called G-log, G-force induced loss of consciousness. To see the difference between the experiences of pilots and astronauts and the experience of rider, usually pilots experience such extreme forces just for a few seconds, while in the roller coaster the rider would experience for 1 minute. So nobody has experienced this for such a long time. Take existing euthanasia machines or rituals. These are medicalized, secularized, sterilized. In roller coaster, I introduce a ritual of doing that. So ritual is brought back to the contemporary description of death. So in this case of speculating about the future, you might see it as alternative euthanasia machine for future human beings, either for dealing with overpopulation or if your life becomes too long.
That boy said, if your life becomes too long. Right.
Overpopulation or if you're...
That boy said overpopulation. Right. One more time, man. Hold up.
Life becomes as alternative euthanasia machine for future human beings, either for dealing with overpopulation or...
Either for dealing with overpopulation. That's this demon's mindset, man. So what this devil just said is one of these days it's going to be too many people on this earth for other people to take care of. So one alternative that this devil came up with, right, instead of cleaning up the environment, instead of making things easily accessible to the poor, instead of saying, well, we should put a cap on how much funds a person can have so that big business won't be in such control over everything. This devil says, let's make a death machine. Let's make a roller coaster that'll kill your ass because we got too many people on the planet. All right. People like this run the world, bro. Like, We ain't we're not understanding the severity and the absolute truth of our situation. We are under the thumb of people that devise ways in their mind on how to kill millions of people annually. Think I'm lying? Look up population control. That's what this man just said. Right? These are people like him are people that's running everything, man. All right, now let's bring out a few precepts, man. A few precepts, and then we're gonna call it a day. Let's see. It's the book of Proverbs. We're gonna go to the book of Proverbs. Chapter 6. And let's see. Look at this. And 12, right? It says a naughty person. In Proverbs 6 and 12, it says a naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. Let's look up that word froward. You gotta look up words, man, because words mean things, right? It's more than just knowing how to say a word. It's knowing what that word means, right? So froward means habitual. See, man, Esau hating, man. The strong way. You see that? Esau hating the strong way, man. All right, anyway. It says habitually disposed to disobedience and opposition. Archaic. Adverse. All right. It says a naughty person, Proverbs 6:12, a naughty person, a wicked man walketh with an adverse mouth. He winketh with his eyes. He speaketh with his feet. He teacheth with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart. All right. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. All right. This devil devises mischief continually. All right, scriptures talk about the wicked having perpetual hatred against the Most High's people. It means never ending. So as long as people such as old buddy are ruling the world, I don't care how many times you go vote. I don't care how many businesses you start. I don't care how many banks you build up. It don't matter, man. It does not matter, because these people are going to ensure that you stay underneath them at all costs, at all times. Facts, man. Right? Verse 15, therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. All right? The Most High say he coming back like a thief in the night, man. Meaning you will not be aware. Right? But those of us that operate in the truth, that watch and that pray, right? We are noticing the change in time. Nobody knows, no man knows the exact day, right? Where the Most High will send Yahushua back for his people. But we can clearly see it's getting close, man. It's getting real close. These folk have already started to lull a lot of these stupid ass people's mind right back to sleep, while the rest of the world is still operating in turmoil the same way it was before all of this this present day miseries came to Babylon the Great. You had the prophets out there that was telling you it's coming. It's gonna be on the way. People didn't believe it, then it happened. Right? It says, suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. It ain't nothing you can do about it, man. Nothing you can do. Nothing can be done. All right? Let's go to the book of Psalms. Chapter 10 and verse 2. Says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Right? But it was talking about controlling the population with a damn death machine, a roller coaster that's designed to take the air out of you, take the oxygen out your brain. It's designed to kill you. Right? Of course, this man ain't talking about the rich that run the world. Of course, they are never in consideration with things as such. It's the guinea pigs that he talking about. The people that they make commercials for you to go buy and for you to go try. They're not making them commercials for them 1%. Right? Says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Right? Outside of this crazy ass idea about a damn death roller coaster, this devil has other death machines readily available to be used at any time on you Jakes, which is Israel, you so-called blacks, you so-called Hispanics, and you so-called Native Americans, all the so-called Negro descent. How many times these people got to show you? How many times they got to murk you in the middle of the street and no one get held accountable for it? How many times they got to skip over you for a position that you qualify for, but you don't get just because you? How many times these people got to say you got to change your hairstyle and change the way you talk in order to fit in? How many times, man? How many times these folk got to tell you and show you they don't give a damn about you? How many times they got to do that, man? Before you wake up and realize, hey, man, this ain't your place. This is not your home. Right? You come from a whole nother place. You have a whole nother name, a whole nother culture, a whole nother spirituality, man. These folk gave you black. They gave you African American. They gave you Christianity. They gave you Jesus. They gave you all this other nonsense to keep you niggas. Man, bro. Niggerdom is a cancer that was given to you by a cancer. In Revelation, where it talk about the pale horse and death followed, that's the individual that named you nigger. That's the individual that taught you to hate yourself. That's the individual that taught you to kill yourself. But you don't want to let it go. So them different mischievous devices that the Most High is placing into these devils' hearts. Because Scripture said, matter of fact, let's get this right quick. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 1. The preparations of the heart in man, which is your mind, the thoughts in your mind, and the answer of the tongue, meaning the words that you speak, is from Yahweh. The Most High is the Most High of all. The Most High controls good and evil. So these thoughts that's in these devils' minds, that's for the Most High's people. That's a judgment. Who you think gonna be tearing your ass up during Jacob's trouble. The Most High gonna let loose that sword on your ass, man. Seeing as though you want to be everything that they want you to be, in all honesty, they want you to be dead. So guess what your ass gonna be when that time comes? Since you want to be everything they want you to be. Look, man, this the book of let me see. This is the book of Micah chapter 2, verse 10. I'm gonna close out with this. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." Man, get your mindset out the west, man, and go back home. Most High willing, these precepts in this video will edify. Call Halom Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Harakakadash. Shalom, Yashala, Shalom.